It is November 3rd when I'm recording this, and I need to get ahead of the game on this because in 3 weeks, this thing is actually going away for the new bed replacement. For a little bit of backstory, I never knew that a bed like the Bowen Customs bed even existed. I went to the Overland Expo. It's my first time going to the Flagstaff Expo. It's the first time meeting tactical application vehicles in Walt Wagner. When I got to check out the TAV spec Tacoma, the GOAT as they call it, it is such a badass truck. When I saw that thing, it had a solution to problems that I saw with what we have in our beds today. So in this particular video, I'm gonna go over the bed before I have it, and then we'll jump forward in time. It'll be about 2 months from now, and I'll have the actual bed. So let's talk about a few of the cons of losing this bed right here. Of course, there are cons associated with it, and some of those cons are just the tailgate. The tailgate's going away, which that's kind of going away with the Alu-Cab either way. But I have grown to love just having a tailgate because I've got like the mountain hatch thing in it. It's one big flat surface. But the other thing is just aesthetics. So the factory bed on this truck is so good looking. The lines on these trucks are beautiful. The side profile of these trucks is beautiful. It's got a very aggressive stance and aggressive look. And quite honestly, I'm a little bummed that I have to lose that. I wish there's some way that I can modify the factory bed to do this, but it just doesn't work that way. Obviously, there are a lot of aftermarket accessories that can go into a factory bed. It's built around this. A lot of that stuff isn't gonna work anymore. So if you look at the wasted space in the factory bed, this fender right here alone is probably between 8 and 10 inches to the inside of the bed. So this is all hollow. This is completely wasted space. And when you have something like a Bowen bed that's gonna come all the way out here and you have cabinetry right here, it's not a matter of I can take more stuff, it's a matter of being able to organize things. And on certain trips, it is for taking more stuff. If I'm gonna go out and do something that's more film heavy and I need to take an extra tripod or something like that and that type of gear, I can fit that all in here. And the other side is turning a 5-foot bed like this into something that has more space. So the Bowen bed overall is a little bit wider than this one is, but it doesn't actually stick out any farther because like the fenders and stuff. So it's gonna be more useful space. Down here, I'm gonna have a compartment. On the sides, I'm gonna have a compartment. And then the fact that it is just an aluminum bed that I can actually mount things to, it's much more modifiable. So the Bowen is unique and nobody else is doing this as far as I know, where they are not just building a replacement bed, but it's a factory height replacement bed. So the rails and everything are gonna be the same exact height of what I have here. They're gonna take those measurements, they're gonna custom build it, and I'm going to get something that takes up the same amount of space, but gives me more space because of the storage capacity. I'm so pumped about getting this thing back. They're taking it for the entire month of December, and I'm gonna go pick it up in early January. And I'm sure you guys aren't seeing this till February, March or something like that. But I'm so pumped about it. So we're gonna jump forward in time and I will show you what the new bed looks like.
Here's some shots from right when I got the truck back from Bowen. Now keep in mind that this is more of an overview video, and in the future, and after I've got some time with this thing, I will have a review coming to the channel. I can say right now though that no product is perfect, but I am very happy with how this turned out.
So just to clarify on this, I did not work with Bowen. I did not get a discount on this, aside from I got a reservation in before pricing went up. Everything's getting more expensive, as we all know. So I did get in before pricing increased on these, but I've had a deposit on this for over 1.5 years. So I've been waiting on this. And part of the reason I've been waiting for so long is because I was waiting on the Trail Hunter to come out. So this bed was part of my plan from the get-go. I wanted a setup like this once Walt Wagner from Tactical Application Vehicles introduced me to this. He kind of co-designed this. He had an idea for it. And I thought that it was just brilliant because I think we've all seen the flatbeds out there, but that didn't really work for me because I've known for a very long time that I was going to build specifically a truck with an Alu-Cab canopy camper, now the ModCap. And so when I saw these, I viewed this as the best of both worlds. And there are limitations compared to a flatbed, but man, this really called to me. I know that there's plenty of other options out there. I know it's not totally necessary, but I'm trying to build a new production vehicle for the channel and for projects that I have going forward. This truck has been my goal for the last several years, not only acquiring one of the next gen Tacomas, but also building it just like this. And honestly, for a long time, I didn't think I could make this possible. Of course, this isn't gonna be for everybody, but I'm building a truck specific for the channel, for production, something that I think is gonna be perfect for the type of way I travel. It's gonna be small enough to where I can still go down a lot of the trails that I still do in the FJ, but it's also gonna have a space where on days like today, I can climb in the back, I can turn on some heat, and me and my wife can hang out in the back. Bowen Customs does flatbeds. They do topper beds, which is what this is, and they do slide-in camper beds. Now the difference is that this is sealed, so when I put a topper on this, the Alu-Cab ModCap, it will be a sealed system. Some of the other things is my access panels here on the sides have little holes in them. They're pass-throughs, so that's not dust proof. So whenever the Alu-Cab gets mated to the top of this, then I will be able to have the option of opening this, getting into some of this stuff. But if I want to take some of these panels out, I can reach through and get to other things, or vice versa. If I'm in the tent in the middle of the night and I need something that I put in here, I can open up a panel and I can get to it. And this, to me, is just making the wedge campers, which so many people use and so many people love, a little tiny 5-foot wedge camper. It's not the type of camper you're gonna put a couch in and hang out and live in, but it's the type of camper where if you wanna go out camping even 2, 3, 4 weeks, this is the perfect kind of setup. The way my FJ Cruiser is designed, getting to my camera equipment was always a pain. So this truck with 4 doors, and now I have access panels on the outside, getting to recovery gear, getting to tools, getting to food, getting to my camera stuff is all gonna be so much easier. I know I'm gonna get the question in the comments, how much did this bed cost? This thing was not cheap. And again, I didn't know if I'd even be able to pull this off. I work full-time, actually more than full-time, and I've got the channel, and that's why I was able to pull this off. This is a business for me. This bed with the discount before pricing went up was $18,900, I believe is what it was. Very, very expensive. That is almost as much as I paid for that FJ Cruiser 16 years ago. And that's another thing that I got to say when people are rolling their eyes about this is I drove the same vehicle for 16 years, daily driving, adventuring, doing all that stuff. I built a business and now I can have something like this. So I do have to say I started to get cold feet in some regards because one, it's so much money, but also these trucks are so pretty. The way the new design looks is just so cool. But this thing is gonna be so much more functional. So I do need to do some work, some custom work, and I told them not to do a lot of things. Usually when you buy one of these, they'll relocate your inverter down here, which doesn't make sense to me. I didn't want that, so I asked them not to do that. And the other thing is this truck has the OEM air compressor, and I need to remount that, and I'm not entirely sure how I'm gonna do that. I gotta figure that stuff out. I'm gonna definitely have to cut some holes in this for wiring, some holes in this for plumbing and stuff like that, and we'll dive into that more in a second. But it does need a little bit of work. This is the Bowen Customs camera mount. To get the full Toyota 360-degree view from this camera, it needs to be mounted about here and pointed downward. So I will be fixing that. One thing Bowen told me when I picked this up was they said they'd never seen so much wiring in a pickup truck. And I pulled this panel off where they had to tape it all up and stuff. I'm gonna be reusing a lot of that wiring. So I just told them to kind of tidy it up. I pulled this out once before, but I never let it all just hang like this. And this is pretty crazy. So getting all of this tied up and waterproofed is going to be quite a chore. And I bought a few different sizes of these project boxes on Amazon. And then I'm gonna have to seal this with like silicone or something like that. And every one of these connections, I'm going to plug up with dielectric grease. That way, any water that makes it past my little makeshift barrier in the future will not get into the plugs. I've done this kind of stuff before, and it actually holds up surprisingly well, assuming that I'm not completely submerging this truck on a regular basis. One thing to note is I do have my backup sensors here that are fully functional. I think they look good in the way they designed them. They 3D printed some little mounts for those. One thing you do lose on these types of systems is you lose your blind spot monitoring. As far as I know, all flatbeds and bed replacements lose that. I think maybe Dirtbox Overland has a solution for that on some vehicles, but I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, so that was something I was willing to give up for the sake of having such a just a unique bed that is very functional. Okay, I want to lift the camera up a little bit, and you can tell that this is tilted. The parking lot actually is pretty tilted here. This bed is actually wider than the factory bed is, and that's how you get so much storage, but it doesn't come out any farther than the front fender. The rear fenders on this are actually adjustable, so I can loosen those bolts and pull this out a little bit. I get about 1/2 inch, which I will be doing because it does throw quite a bit of mud with the mud terrain Firestone tires. So another thing with this is a topper bed. This is for a wedge camper. You could put a Go Fast camper on this thing. You can put anything you want on here. And because I'm doing the Alu-Cab, I didn't get a tailgate. Normally you would get a tailgate. Mine didn't get that. Mine gets the filler panels. So on the Alu-Cab ModCap camper, formerly the Canopy camper, when you buy those, you take your tailgate off and it puts a big door right here. That way you get a dust-proof environment, pretty much. What they've done here is that this is my filler panel. So they went ahead and took care of that because obviously Alu-Cab would have to engineer that otherwise. So they took all of the information from Alu-Cab and built this accordingly. So the camper will sit right on top of this and mate to it. And it's gonna look like one big unit pretty much. It's gonna look like this is just one big camping body, which is gonna be awesome because for this size truck, I think this is just gonna be phenomenal. My first impressions on how they're gonna build this is that this is gonna be one giant piece, and I'm glad it's not. And the reason for that is I have to drill a bunch of holes into this. This is replaceable. If something happens to that, if I get hit or it gets damaged somehow or another, I can call Bowen and they can make me a new piece for this and I can bolt a new one on. Just like the bottom boxes and just like pretty much the rest of the bed, if something gets damaged, you can replace components. You can get new parts for it. Taillights are replaceable, everything's replaceable, so that's awesome. So back to the 5-foot bed thing. A big part of me not wanting to get the 6-foot bed Tacoma is that it's just such a long vehicle. But another reason I convinced myself not to do that is because I knew I'd be getting this bed. And this bed is specific for the 4th gen Tacoma. I couldn't get rid of this and put it on a Gladiator or something like that. It's specific for this truck. So the 5-foot bed models are more common, so it'd be a little bit easier to sell it in the future if I decided to do that. I did consider that I'm putting this on the first year of a new generation of vehicle. So I have kept my factory bed. And so if I have problems with this truck, because even though it's a Toyota, everybody swears Toyotas are the most reliable thing. I've had very good luck with Toyota, but if it has problems, I can buy another truck in 3-4 years, pick this up and put it on the other truck and put my factory bed back on. It'll be a lot of work for all the wiring and everything, but no wiring's been cut off and stuff like that. I can get it back to the factory setup. So that is good for me because this is a big investment for Independence Overland. Other things in the back here is it does have L-track or airplane track as some people call it. So that is a spot where I can anchor down interior builds if I want to do that. I don't think I'm gonna do that for a little while. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do there. So on this particular model, it has 3 latches because it's so long. If you were to get the 6-foot model, you get a compartment right here, which sure would be nice, but they can't fit it on this design. I measured this the other night. This is about 10 inches. And then on this side, it's 65 inches long. On that side, it's 59 inches long, I believe is what it measured out to. So that is a ton of storage. So on the other side, because of the way the Canopy camper will open up, that'll probably be mostly food and things that we use around camp, as this side will be, I have no idea what it's gonna be actually. It's gonna be so much though. It's gonna take a lot of what we need to store in the bed out of there, and it'll just make it feel like it's a bigger camper. So this is just gonna be amazing to have. And obviously this space is flat space. Set your drink there. You have a little spot to work, and I can change out camera lenses and stuff, assuming it's not windy and dusty, something like that. As we all know, flat space. You can never have enough flat space whenever you're out camping. The other thing is down here, and I've already got this one full, so I got some B-roll while it was empty, but this is gonna be my recovery side. And I've got all my Sandy Cats recovery stuff in here, and that will have probably a toolkit too. It'll be pretty packed in there. I'm waiting for the Alu-Cab to be on here before I fully trick this out and put a bunch of stuff in it, just because it's still technically an open bed and I don't want to fill it up before the big install. But this will be organized in a way to where things for winching, things that I'm going to need quickly in the case of a recovery situation, they'll be easy to get to. And it just, man, it's gonna be so nice just having quick access to it. Of course, everything locks up, which is nice, so I can lock all my equipment away. So right now, what you can see, it probably looks like it's shorter to you. It is not actually, this is the same size as the factory bed, actually probably a little bit longer even. I need to figure out my air compressor mounting. I need to figure out the inverter mounting, but I'm gonna have all that stuff back, and it's gonna be honestly very fun to do this whole project. This has been the biggest part of this whole plan. This and the Alu-Cab is what's important to me. On a day like today where it is cold out, my hands are freezing right now, being able to climb in somewhere, have some heat is just gonna be absolutely incredible. So the whole reason I'm releasing this video after putting the camper on it, and you guys have seen the camper video by now, I hope. I do have a whole video up on the full build and the intentions behind the build. And then I will also have a video up of just the ModCap going over some of the details, because I feel like there's a lot of videos out there on the Alu-Cab canopy campers and ModCaps, but a lot of them don't touch on a lot of the small details and things that somebody like me over the years, as I've been looking at these, planning it in my head, I've wanted to know certain things that I haven't had access to. And I'm gonna try to do a better video on that, as good as I can anyway. So we'll touch on that soon. But I wanted to do one big reveal video and then link that over to this one. So if you want more details on the bed, you can go there. And if you want more details on the camper, I'll have a video out on that. All right, guys, I hope you like the Bowen bed. Maybe this isn't for everybody. Some of you are gonna see this as a waste of money. This is a business for me. I'm gonna make some awesome videos with this thing. Me and Baker are gonna get together. We're gonna go somewhere really cool. I've got some really cool plans for this truck. Man, I'm just so excited. It's gonna be just so badass looking. It's gonna have some cool parts on it. Roof rack's getting replaced with Sherpa. And actually I'll save the rest for other videos. But again, I'm gonna do another video on the camper. I'm gonna go back. If this is the first video you're seeing of this thing, go check out the video with the camper installed. It's just gonna be so cool. I hope you guys like this. It's kind of an art project in a certain way. You cannot deny that this is a badass looking truck now. I mean, the contrast between these colors, I have a full rendering, I guess, that I can share now. I've kept this rendering under lock and key for a very long time. It's by Box Rocket Designs. Originally, you can see in the rendering that I had the 6-foot bed planned, but I changed that once I found out about the wheelbases and stuff. But just this color with this bed, obviously I love Alu-Cab because I had my bed basically built around it. But this is just gonna be such a cool setup. I'm so thrilled about this thing. I think it's just turned out amazing. So if you guys wanna follow along with this build, I'll be going over electrical. I'll be going over some tips on how to do electrical, different heating systems, stuff like that. I'm gonna try to document pretty much everything I do. I started my channel late in the game. The FJ was pretty much already built, and so it was hard to cover some of that. And so that's part of the reason I have this truck, is so I can go back through, customize a vehicle, and you guys can follow along. I'll share tips on how I do some of this stuff, because I am a professional mechanic for a living. And so I'll share some tips and tricks on how to do some of this stuff and help share knowledge, which will hopefully save you money, so you can do more DIY stuff. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know, even if you think this is a complete waste of money, I understand. But this thing was just so awesome to me when I first saw it on Walt Wagner's truck. The GOAT, as they call it, that Tacoma is just amazing. And I fell in love with it, and now I own one, and I can't believe it. Anyway, so go check out the other videos on this if you want to see those. There will be more coming with this truck. I've got a lot of work ahead of me. I've got Red Arc stuff to put in. I've got Expion 360 batteries, and then I'll figure out the interior at some point. I've got to trick this thing out, find out where all my stuff's gonna go, how I'm gonna organize it. It's gonna be a fun project. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time.
As always, thank you so much for watching, and click one of the videos in the corner to check out more of our adventure, off-road, and overland related content.